Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Keys Reviews podcast. Sorry it's been so long in between episodes, but this is episode 5, and we're back with Nick's film reviews.
Hey.
So today we're going to focus on video game films, given that Free Guy just came out, even though it's not based particularly on a real video game. We just thought, you know what? Free Guy's out on Disney Plus now. Let's talk about proper video game films. So first thing up we're going to talk about is the new Super Mario movie that's just been cast. So Nick, do you want to talk about who's in the cast for the new Mario movie?
Well, yes, obviously, in the main role of that classic character himself is Star-Lord, Chris Pratt,
Yes, as
which,
Mario.
but it's blown everyone's minds. If you go on YouTube and you see people's reactions, literally everyone is they just laugh at it. Like, no one goes, oh, yeah, that's good or that's bad. Everyone just laughs at this entire cast because it's so crazy.
Yeah.
And then there's Anya Taylor-Joy as Peach. Then there's Charlie Day as Luigi, Jack Black as Bowser, Keegan-Michael Key as Toad, Seth Rogen as Donkey Kong.
Okay, I don't understand that casting at all. I hope.
And then there's Fred Armisen as Cranky Kong, Kevin Michael Richardson as K-Mech.
I've never even heard of some of these characters.
Right.
Wow.
And then Sebastian, sorry if I pronounced this wrong, Maniscalco as Spike. And then the actual voice of Mario,
we don't know what he's doing
cameos.
Yeah, because the first time we got a Super Mario Bros. Movie was back in 1993, and that was the first ever video game film made, which
does not exist.
A lot of video game movies don't exist because they're just terrible. But we're going to be talking about them today. So, have you seen the original Super Mario Bros. Movie?
No, I have not.
Good.
Don't think I ever will.
I got it on DVD for literally 50 cents. I'm not kidding. I paid 50 cents for it. Pardon?
When did that happen?
Like a month ago. Because I was just like, you know what?
Oh.
You can't complete your collection until you have some crap movies. And I was like, I have to get Super Mario Bros. Because it's just, you'd never find it anywhere else. But I remember when my teacher from Film Club, which we talked about in the last episode, he told me that I needed to watch the Super Mario Bros. Movie. And I genuinely thought that it would be okay because he told me nothing about it beforehand. And I watched, I think I got about 20 minutes in. I was like, oh, this is one of the worst movies I've ever seen. So
I remember seeing it like years ago, and I just saw the post start and then Mario and Luigi. I was like, oh, okay, this exists. But then I saw Bowser and the Koopas in there. I'm like, what? This is not a video. What? Who designed that?
Yeah, it was pretty stupid. But next film we're going to talk about is Double Dragon. We've watched the next 3 video game films at Film Club. And the first one after Super Mario Bros. Is Double Dragon. Personally, I think it's awful. Like I just don't even think it's watchable. I hate it. It's just nah. But I don't even think I don't remember a single scene from that movie. Do you remember anything from it?
Nope. Didn't even know it was a game.
Oh, was it? Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah,
it's a video game movie.
It's a video game movie, but I have never heard of even the game. Must have been like a really, 90s kind of game, 80s game.
Yeah, and it was probably popular, but I didn't know what it was.
I don't know. It was just a weird movie. Anyway, we'll go on to one that we can actually properly talk about because it was more recent. Street Fighter with Jean-Claude Van Damme and Kylie Minogue. For me, Kylie Minogue is one of my favorite singers of all time, and she's Aussie, which is also good. But she's legitimately the only thing I remember about this movie, and it's probably the only reason I didn't give it like a 0 out of 10. I gave it a 1. So Kylie Minogue held up the film for me, but man, this was bad.
It's like Double Dragon, just one of those in that category of 90s video game movies that all feel the exact same.
They all just feel all bad. Really bad.
They just all feel like no care put into it. It's just a no.
Yeah, it's just very disappointing. But 1995 came around, and we basically got, you know, an all right video game movie, and that is the Mortal Kombat movie. I thought it was okay. I did not mind it. I thought it was actually pretty decent. But then I watched it a second time. I was like, oh, it's not as bad. But I actually kind of enjoyed it. I liked the theme song. I thought that was pretty cool, and I liked some of the characters, but the acting and just a lot of it was just very, very B grade. Like a
Yeah.
lot of video game films from the 90s are very B grade, and you can have a laugh at them and just take the piss out of them, but really they're not well made, especially
I
the
still think
sequel.
it's yeah. I still think it's bad, but it actually feels a little bit like they actually had some put a little bit of care into it to make it accurate to the actual game because it feels like it feels like a video game movie, a bad video game movie, but not a bad video game movie that's just bad. Like it feels like something that they actually kind of knew what they were doing. Like, all right, we want to adapt this video game instead of just ruining everything about it.
Yeah, it actually kind of stayed a bit true to the actual games, especially the early
Yeah,
ones that were around in the 90s. But then we move it on to the next one, which is the sequel to Mortal Kombat, and that's called Mortal Kombat Annihilation.
which
And that
is
is
not
probably the
that is
worst move, one of the worst
worst.
movies I've ever seen. It is terrible. People warned me about it and not to go near it, but I stupidly were like, oh, well, the first one was good. The second one can't be that bad. Oh, I regret, I regret spending an hour and a half
Yeah,
watching
I
that.
remember seeing. Yeah, I remember seeing that scene. I'm assuming it was towards the end where this dude turns into some creature, and I understand it's the '90s. It's difficult, but it felt like just a terrible PS2 graphic.
I think it was like
This
a
dude turning
PS1.
into it. PS1, yeah, and
Yeah, it was that
it's
bad. I
and I
just,
remember
yeah,
before I saw it, I saw this video on YouTube that you can still find called the worst line in script writing history.
and it
And
came
I
from
watched it
that.
and I was like, huh, I wonder what movie is that from? It was from this movie.
Yeah, it's just, oh, for people that
Too
know that
bad.
how much I hate Venom 1, that
I hate it as
Mortal
well.
Kombat Annihilation was worse. Like, that's how much I
Yeah.
hated it. It was that bad. But I'm going to skip over a couple of video game films here because I've not seen them and I don't really think that you would have. But we're going to land into the 2001 year where Lara Croft Tomb Raider, we're going to talk about all three Tomb Raider films. I know that there's two with Angelina Jolie and there's one with Alicia Vikander, but we'll focus on the Angelina Jolie films. Have you seen them?
No.
They're not bad. I genuinely, the first one I thought was actually really well done for 2001. Like with the films that were coming out around that time, like Lord of the Rings, etc. It actually kind of did a decent job at trying to adapt a video game film, like a video game to film. Oh my gosh. But yeah, like I think it was more because of the sex appeal of Angelina Jolie that most people went, oh,
Yep.
let's go see that. She's wearing
Yeah.
basically
That's
nothing.
what that's why most people go see him nowadays. You just need a you just need an A-list celebrity on your poster or your cast, and people will come in and watch it.
Margot Robbie. Um,
Yeah.
no, I
Chris
love
Pratt
Margot Robbie. Chris Pratt. Yep. Wait, did you say Chris Pratt?
for Mario. They're like, oh,
Oh,
we can't have the original voice. We need here we got Marvel dude.
yeah. Anyway, yeah, Lara Croft Tomb Raider, I think, had probably the best action sequences that I've seen in like early movies, if you know what I mean. Like not early movies in like 1940s, but I mean like around that time it had decent action, decent comedy, but overall it just wasn't amazing or anything. But it's up there as one of my favorite video game films, but that's not really a high bar to reach. It's not very hard to reach the top of the video game film list. But and its sequel, Cradle of Life, yeah, I think they more leaned into the sex appeal of Angelina Jolie, especially in the second one, because they kind of really abandoned who Lara Croft was as a character in the second one. And I thought that was really disappointing. I was like, you kind of nearly nailed it on the first one, but in this second one, it just was horribly done. But we'll move on. I don't know whether you've seen any of these ones, but this is personally a guilty pleasure franchise for me. 2002's Resident Evil. I genuinely don't mind these movies. They're not bad. They're just Some of them are terrible, but some of them are actually enjoyable, and you can even though you know they're bad, that you can still have fun with it. And I feel like that's the Resident Evil franchise for me. Have you seen any clips or
Uh,
movies of the Resident Evil franchise?
I have not, no, neither have I played the game, but I'm surprised for a video game movie how many Resident Evil films there are.
Yeah, I
Like
think
I
there's
thought they'd make at least one, two, but there's like
six.
six.
There's a new one that's coming out. It's going to make it. It's a reboot, but I'll talk about that in a second. But the
Well, then
first
there's
one was
seven.
the first one. I think only I remember the first half of the movie, but that was very vaguely, and it was actually pretty good. It had great action. I remember that, and I remember being very invested in it. And then Apocalypse came out, and I was like, oh, okay, it's it's holding up, but it's not great. And then Extinction came out, and that was just I don't know. I don't know how to that one. That was just weird. Afterlife was the first one in 3D, and I remember that being huge when it came out. But yeah, it wasn't a great movie. Then we moved on to Retribution, which personally is my favorite video game film of all time. Even though a lot of people don't understand it, I like the intricacies of it and how action packed. Like it was literally like trying to think of a movie that had action into like Speed, like with Keanu Reeves, has action
Oh
from the
yeah.
start and all the way to the end. And I think that's why I like Resident Evil Retribution, not because of its writing or its characters. I just loved that it was action the whole way through. I just wasn't not entertained with that. And then last night, I only got halfway through it because I've been putting it off for years, but finally went onto Netflix and started watching the final chapter, and I enjoyed it. I didn't hate it, but it wasn't great. But I don't know. I think in towards the end, I think when Extinction came out, it was really aware that Resident Evil and the Underworld series were going at it to see who could make the most films and who could beat each other at the box office because they'd come out in the same month in the January of each year, and they'd release both of their movies at the same time to see which one did better. And I think that's what kind of ruined Resident Evil towards the middle of it. And then it kind of elevated how Underworld was received, but both franchises aren't that great. But at the end of this year, I think end of November or start of December in Australia, we have the new Resident Evil movie called Welcome to Raccoon City. And that's all based on the recent Resident Evil PS4 games, I think, and is going to be a direct adaptation of the video
Really?
games instead of just kind of
Are people
making
excited for
whatever you
that?
want. Don't know. I haven't seen a trailer yet. I personally am excited for it because I did like the games. So I feel like this will be like a proper horror film. But I don't know. I just feel like I just hope they do well with it. I don't want to, praise it before it comes out or before it even gives us a taste of it. But if they're gonna conduct a great video game film, they better stick to the, source material. Um, Next series we're going to talk about is, oh man, I can't even believe this is a thing. Doom. Have you ever seen Doom with The
Uh,
Rock?
I've I've seen parts, and I've seen
Oh,
that one part where like they try to make it like the game where it's first person.
yeah. Oh,
I mean, I
oh,
guess that's kind of cool, but
it didn't
it's
work.
not good, but it didn't work. But I mean, at least they kind of
Tried.
gave it a shot. Like, oh yeah, we're making a video game movie.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember I saw Doom when I was like younger. I wasn't like a proper film buff yet, but I'd just seen the Kill Bill movies and then decided to flick over to Foxtel and watch Doom because it was on like one of the channels. I was like, oh yeah, I'll watch this. And I was just my hand. I think my head was in my hands the whole movie because I just didn't like it at all. But we're gonna jump over a few more. Sorry that we're kind of rushing through this. We're all a bit busy at the moment, obviously with school going back. We have got to get back on track with everything. But Hitman. We're going to talk about the 2007 Hitman. I haven't seen it personally, so I'm wanting to see it. Uh, but there's also Hitman Agent 47, which was in 2015, and I have seen that one. What about you?
I
Have you?
haven't seen any. A
Yeah.
lot of these video game movies, I don't know that they're games, but I
Hmm.
look at them and I'm like, these like especially Hitman. Like, even looking at the poster right now,
Yeah.
it doesn't look like a video game movie. It looks like that generic action movie that some people enjoy when really they're just really, really bad.
Yeah, unfortunately. But Hitman Agent 47 was I think the first one of the first MA15 plus films I've ever seen. And it was my basically mum said to me for a long time that I couldn't see Deadpool because I was too young and she didn't really understand what was in the film. So I kind of got a bit angry about it, but she's like, an alternative is an MA15 plus movie called Hitman Agent 47. And she had no idea what that was like. And that was way more violent than Deadpool. But I don't know. I think I liked it because of the action. But I feel like I'm just repeating myself with all of these movies. I just compliment the
Don't.
action, but everything else sucks in these movies. But yeah. Then there was a Far Cry movie, which is personally one of my favorite uh game series of all time. I love Far Cry 3, 4, 5, and then hopefully I like 6, which is coming out
Yeah,
next
it's
week,
got
I
the dude
think.
from it's got
Mandalorian.
Moff Gideon.
Yeah, Moff Gideon from Mandalorian. But the original movie I don't even want to talk about because uh, yeah. Next movie, I don't know whether have you seen Prince of Persia? Because a lot of people have, but I haven't.
What?
I haven't seen. Oh no,
What's it called?
Prince of Persia: The Sands of Time with Jake Gyllenhaal.
I have not heard of that. Oh wait, I think I've seen the poster. But when you just said the name, I had not heard that ever.
Oh
Never heard of
really?
the game.
No, I've never heard of the game, but it's apparently a video game adaptation. I might
This
be wrong.
poster looks very, very
Familiar.
like it's Jake Gyllenhaal, but like it doesn't look good at all. Like it looks very weird.
Yeah. It reminds me a lot of that I think it was produced by Disney, to be honest. I think Disney did it. So I don't know. It could be good.
Yep,
I don't know.
I
But we've
just
already
looked it
talked
up.
about,
Disney did.
yeah, it felt like there was kind of a break between video game films here because we had Prince of Persia, then we had the next two Resident Evil films, which was Afterlife and Retribution. And then we got Need for Speed, which I was genuinely interested in seeing when I was younger. But yeah, I don't know. I never ended up seeing it. Have you seen Need for Speed?
Um, I've seen the game before, and
Yeah,
I
I've played
remember
a lot of
seeing
the
the
games.
poster. And the first thing I thought, I remember in me, I was one of those people who thought this. I didn't know it was a game, and I just thought this looks like some people trying to do Fast and Furious.
Yeah, it felt
And
like another Fast and Furious spin-off, didn't it?
yeah, but it also just feels like I said before, one of those generic action movies that people like when they're really bad.
Yeah, unfortunately. And I thought Need for Speed wouldn't be a hard movie, to tackle in terms of honoring the video game predecessor, but I'm yet to see it, so I can't really talk too much about it because I don't know all that much. But yeah, I'll be interested to see how that is. Ratchet and Clank was
Oh,
apparently a video game movie. I have not seen it, but
yeah,
my brother.
I've seen that.
Oh, what'd you think?
Well, okay. Firstly, I played the game that's based on that movie. I played a bit of it, and it was fun. The graphics are really good, but the movie is just dull. It's very boring.
I've heard that it was a carbon copy of the cutscenes from the game.
Yeah,
Is it?
the game uses cutscenes from the movie,
Oh,
and it's funny because it goes from cutscenes from the movie to in-game cutscenes, and then cutscenes from the movie to
oh.
cutscenes in
So it's
game, and it's
so it's
like
basically the game, but just edited into a movie.
it follows the exact same story, but the game tries to add some extra scenes that were in the movie just
Yeah,
to make the game.
yeah. Yeah, I've been wanting to watch that one because I think I would enjoy the movie, but I don't want to play the game
Just
personally because I
boring.
feel like yeah, I don't know. I just feel like the game would be more interesting to kind of view that experience
The game is
much
more
better.
fun than the act, more
Oh,
fun
okay.
than the movie.
Um, I didn't want this to ever be made. I'm upset that it is.
What is
Angry
it?
Birds.
Oh
Oh
yeah, I
man.
forgot that existed, and I forgot it even had a sequel
Oh, I
that
remember
no
that it
one
had a
asked for.
sequel. I didn't mind the sequel. I hated the first one, but I didn't hate the sequel. Just didn't like it very much.
I mean, it's got really good animation
Yeah,
and
I
a
agree.
good cast, but it's like it's not that it's boring
Yeah,
and it's not that well. The first one, okay, there's some tiny jokes that are good, but
yeah, they
majority of them
genuinely
are
make you
bad.
laugh.
The second one has pictures of birds dabbing, and it no,
Yeah, yeah,
it's a
yeah.
no.
It
It's
was.
just a no.
It's not a.
It
Yeah,
was it was it was
it was
the
fine,
second one was better than the first, but it's
but
still not
wasn't by
that
much.
good.
No, I completely agree with you. This is one I haven't seen since it came out. Like, I think this was the first
I think
video
I know
game
what this
movie I
is.
think I ever saw in cinemas. And it was Warcraft, which is based off of the
Oh,
popular game World of Warcraft. And I did not mind it. I genuinely loved the CGI. It felt like they were trying to go for a new kind of Lord of the Rings kind of trilogy, I guess. They were trying to aim for that kind of level of war kind of movie, but it just didn't. Like, the CGI was kind of good, and I liked a lot of the action. I actually didn't mind some of the performances from the cast, but it just, yeah, I just
from what I've seen
for
from
yeah.
from what
Sorry,
I've
yeah, you
seen from
go.
marketing and that. Oh yeah, from what I've seen from marketing and that, I have no idea if it's accurate that to the game, but it looks. I haven't
Decent.
played the game either, and it looks kind of similar. So I'm
Yeah.
hoping fans were pleased.
Yeah. Well,
But I'm
I'm a
not.
huge
I don't
World of
play those
Warcraft
games.
player. I usually love playing that. I used to love playing that game because I had a gaming computer once, and then I had like two games. I had World of Warcraft and Lord of the Rings Online, and I probably played Lord of the Rings Online probably more than I did World of Warcraft. But I still enjoyed it. And then the movie was announced, and I was like, "Oh yeah, this is gonna be good." Yeah, it was fine. It was probably one of the better video game films that we've had. But yeah. But then we go back to the terrible of terrible
I know.
Assassin's
I think I know
Creed.
what this is. Oh
Assassin's Creed. Wait, what? What were you gonna say?
no, no, I'm trying to guess what comes after these.
Oh, whoops. Okay.
Assassin's Creed.
Yeah, Assassin's Creed.
Um,
I personally love the games. I'm a huge fan of Assassin's Creed. And when I heard that this was even announced, I went out and for Christmas went out and bought every single Assassin's Creed game because I had an Xbox 360 and I had a PS4, so I could play all of them. So I binge played for ages, was so excited, knew everything I could about the series and the games and everything. And I saw the movie and I just went, what were they trying to do here? They had aspects of the game series, but just wasn't good. And I've heard that there's rumors of a sequel. I don't want that to happen. Like, as much as I love Michael Fassbender, like, he's great in the X-Men movies, but yeah, Assassin's Creed just wasn't a film that did anything well at all. What about you? Do you have any opinions on the
the
Assassin's
only thing
Creed
I
movie?
saw from it, the only thing I saw from it was the trailer in a theater, and that was it.
Yeah, yeah, it didn't. Yeah, it wasn't. It was trying to appeal to people at my age at that time. So I guess that, I don't know. I just feel like I wish it was a bit more than what it was, and it could have been as well. I think if they pay more attention to what the Assassin's Creed games were about, and yeah, I think they could have done a better job with it. But then I completely forgot. I was going to talk about Alicia Vikander's Tomb Raider, but completely forgot about doing it when I was talking about Angelina Jolie. So I do apologize. Um, this what I wanted from this movie specifically is because Tomb Raider, especially the new trilogy that has just finished a couple of years ago, I actually really love those three games. Like, I genuinely will play them again and again and again. And I feel like the movie Alicia Vikander was in tried to do what Ratchet and Clank seemingly did with them game. They tried to remake all the cutscenes from the first movie from the first game and made it into live action for the movie. And that just kind of felt like, I understand that you're wanting to go for that storyline, but you could have handled it way better by altering it and not making scenes literally the exact same shots for the exact same amount of time were in that movie. And I just thought, no, it just feels like you're not going for anything original, and anything that they didn't use from the game and was just like set up for the Lara Croft character. just wasn't what the Lara Croft character was. It was just terribly handled. I really regret that they made that. As much as Alicia Vikander, I completely support her making another one. I just don't know whether what kind of direction it'd go in. It could go really well or it could go terrible. And I think giving it an M rating was pretty stupid. But what about you? I don't know whether you've
No,
seen this one. Have you seen this one?
nah,
You want to move on to the next one?
yeah.
Can you guess what the next one is?
What year are we at?
We're up to 2018.
2018. What video game came out in 2018?
Tomb Raider was March, and this one I think came out in July.
July 2018. Crap.
Do you want me to give you a name of one of the cast members?
Yeah.
Dwayne Johnson.
Oh, Rampage.
Yeah, that's the one. Oh, did you see that one?
There's a shot in the trailer, and I think it's a thumbnail as well. That like, it's him with burning buildings around, and it's like some of the worst green screen I've seen.
Yeah,
But it just looks, stupid.
yeah.
Like they make a story out of a game that is just animals destroying buildings. So they tried to go, oh, we're gonna get the Rock in here. He has a relationship with the monkey, and then they go destroy buildings.
I actually kind of liked this movie though. It actually proved to not be all that bad, but maybe that was because I've only seen it once, and that was in a cinema, and I was with a couple of friends. It wasn't at all a good movie, but there were some moments where I genuinely think I laughed out loud, and a lot of people did too, because it just was so inappropriate at some points. But yeah, it wasn't bad. If you liked Godzilla or Kong movies, it's right up your alley.
If you just like monster movies, then yeah, it's
go
gonna
for
be
it.
up there.
Yeah, definitely. But I haven't watched it since then, and I don't think I ever will again unless they make a second one. But I don't think that's in the plans. Do you want to guess the next one, or do you want me to just introduce it?
Give me the date.
2019.
Is it Detective Pikachu?
There you go. Yeah, Detective Pikachu. I wasn't a fan, like, at all. I didn't like it very much. A lot of people, my brother loved it. Like, he adored it. Like, I ended up buying, I remember I went to JB Hi-Fi to buy Avengers Endgame on Steelbook. They didn't have any more. It sold out, so I was really upset. But ended up getting it on 4K, even though I didn't have a 4K player or anything like that. But it came with like a discount code for when Detective Pikachu came out. So if you wanted to get the DVD or the Blu-ray, you could get a discount on it. So I ended up getting the Blu-ray because it was like down from 30 to about like 18. And I was like, yep, get the Blu-ray. But I don't think I've ever watched it again. But
I think I watched it once and that's it.
Yeah, me too.
I mean, I like how they adapted the actual Pokemon. I thought they looked all right. Ryan Reynolds.
Sorry, yeah.
I like Ryan Reynolds. Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah.
And that's about the only thing I could give is that they tried their best and they didn't really make the Pokemon suck. The only thing that sucked was the humans.
Yeah, because we were talking about a movie just before that you said was the Mario movie, the new one, Super Mario Bros. 2022. I feel like this is another case of A-list actors that were hired to make the movie more popular. Like the Pokemon movie would have been made and would have been popular either way because there's a lot of Pokemon fans out there and so many people that would have gone and seen it. But I think because they hired Ryan Reynolds, that's also why people thought it'd be so good, because it was just after Deadpool 2. Like it wasn't very long after Deadpool 2. And people were like, oh, how's Ryan Reynolds going to, take on this? And I don't know. I just wasn't my type of movie. But even though a lot of people love it, it's still probably, I think critically, it's the best video game film that's ever been made. I personally don't agree with that. But yeah. All right, let's just move on to the biggest disappointment of 2020.
I know what this is.
Yeah. Go for it.
We disagree, but yeah, you say what it is and say your opinion.
Sonic the freaking Hedgehog. Oh my God. That movie was painful for me to sit through. I think I cringed. I was the only person in the cinema and I saw it like opening day. And I cringed so hard at that film. The only person that saved even a minor bit of it was Jim Carrey. And I genuinely I don't mind Jim Carrey. Like I appreciate a lot of the work he's done, but comedy just is I just don't think is my thing. It's not really my genre, unless it's like crude humor, like Superbad or 40-Year-Old Virgin, etc. But I feel like Sonic the Hedgehog just missed the mark on the comedy a lot. And I feel like, and what really, really angered me about Sonic the Hedgehog is that they ripped off not just Days of Future Past, but X-Men Apocalypse, because they did the Quicksilver scenes. And I'm pretty sure that they didn't first do that in the X-Men films, but I feel like it was because they were so much more recent that Sonic was like, oh yeah, let's adapt that and put it in our movie. And I was like, it didn't work. I don't know. I hate it. You talk about your opinion because I hate
Okay,
Sonic
so
the Hedgehog.
I've played the first two original Sonic games, and they're good, but this isn't really. It's not really a good video game adaptation because it's underwhelming, and majority of it is just a setup for the next one, which I believe will probably be better because
Me
it's
too.
actually adapting a lot more from the actual
Games.
games,
Yeah.
and so that'll probably serve. But this is literally just a video game character in the real world. It's generic. It's got a very weak writing,
Yeah.
so many cliches, and I agree. Jim Carrey does save a lot of the movie, but honestly, I don't hate it. Like I think it's fine.
You just think it's a
I
long, like
enjoy
in the
it,
middle.
but yeah, and of course, a lot of the humor is just nah. It's not that funny. But
Yeah.
then they got the character Sonic, I guess.
Yeah. It for me, it felt a lot like Hop from 2011. You know that one about the mini Easter bunny that played drums and all that stuff. Yeah,
Um,
it felt like I was watching Hop again, and I don't really like Hop at all. And then they made this,
I
and I was like,
forgot.
it
I
feels
forgot that.
exactly the same way.
And it's got the
So
same dude,
it
but
is the
he's
same
better in
dude.
this movie.
Yeah.
It is the same dude, but he's better in this one.
Oh yeah, for sure, for sure. Let's move on from this abhorrent mess. To one that came out early this year. Wait, no, was it last? I don't know. I think it was this year for Australians. Monster Hunter, and uh, same director as I
Also,
think the last few Resident Evil films, and it's
yep.
a Mila Jovovich again. Um, and I was really actually kind of excited for it. I didn't realize it was a game until I realized that Monster Hunter World was a PS4 game, and I really want to play that game now. But yeah, they made the movie, and I just yeah, it's awful as suspected. However, we will move past that because I don't want to dwell on that one at all. But this is genuinely a lot of people. I got a lot of hate when I reviewed it because if you didn't know, the day we're recording this episode is the 3-year anniversary of Kiers Reviews on YouTube, which I'm quite proud of, and I'm very happy to announce that I've made it 3 years of reviewing movies.
Eh,
But thank you. But when I did a Mortal Kombat review for 2021, I got a lot of hate because I said I enjoyed it. And I genuinely still do enjoy it. And I know it's a bad movie. It's just a setup for the second one, but I genuinely enjoyed the action. I'm glad they went all out for an R18 rating. Like it felt faithful towards the actual game series, which are R18 games. I just I was disappointed with some aspects, but overall, I'd watch this over like a couple times. Like I would watch this again and again and again, and
I'm
I genuinely liked it.
I agree with most of what you said. I do like the action. The only
Yeah,
thing I don't like about the action is that some sequences where they do that thing where it's like quick cut, so
yeah,
every punch is just like a different camera angle.
yeah. It is.
Especially for the Scorpion the Sub-Zero fight. If that
Mm.
wasn't quick cut, that would have been really, really good. But I
Yeah,
still
I
think
completely
that
agree.
I'm gonna try to pronounce his name. I'm sorry, Hiroyuki Sanada. Is that it?
I think
The dude,
so.
the dude who plays in this one, is he Scorpion?
Oh, I know who
Yes,
you're talking
Scorpion.
about. Yes, 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 yes. He's a
Yeah,
very good actor.
he's really good, and a lot of people agree that the first the opening of the movie is actually really, really good.
Yeah, I agree.
And they also agree that Johnny Cage, not Johnny Cage. what's his name? Kano. He's
Yes,
really
yeah, yeah,
funny.
yeah, yeah.
And everyone, I really love the scene where they make fun of I don't know I forgot what the word is for it, but like spam pressing a button on the game. So like that scene where all he does is just like swipe.
Oh
What's
yeah,
his
yeah,
what's
yeah. I
his
know what
name?
you're trying to.
Yeah,
Yeah, and yeah, when you're
yeah. That I
rapidly
thought that
going
scene
for it.
was funny,
Yeah,
but yeah, it's my yeah. A lot of it, I think some of it was boring,
yeah,
and it's mostly like it starts and they go on a bit of an adventure, but then they end up in this one place and then they stay there kind of for the majority of the rest of the movie.
yeah. And it just didn't really
And then
like. I
there's
never
an
said it
action
was.
sequence and it ends.
Yeah, it's because I felt like it was more of a setup movie, like you said for Sonic. Um,
Yeah.
because Mortal Kombat 2, which hopefully will go ahead, but I'm pretty sure it is. It's all going to be about the actual tournament. And that's what everyone kind of wanted from this movie. And I just thought that now that they were setting it up, I thought that was kind of good because it didn't rush it at all. And it was already like an hour and 50 minutes. And I was like, if they put the tournament in as well, it would have been at least 3 hours. So I'm kind of glad that, the first movie might have been, dividedly received, but I personally enjoyed it. Um, it'll be interesting to see how much Mortal Kombat 2 will be good as well if they keep that R18 rating, and I'd really like that.
Yeah, I hope they actually do make a second one.
But yeah, so that's it for the movies that have released. I just want to talk briefly. Three, upcoming. Well, not even upcoming. They could be. Nothing could have been happening with them, but maybe 3 games if you want to roll them off. That you'd like to see adapted to the big screen. Have you got any like games that you think would be really
Um,
cool on the big screen?
well, I'm not a big gamer, but
Yeah,
I couldn't really think of three off the top of my head. But
you
one
got
that I
any?
used to, one that I used to want as a movie, that
Mm-hmm.
was going to be one, and it was in development for years, and it was supposed to release March next year, but it's been taken off,
What is
and
it?
they can never. It's Minecraft, and it's a great
Oh,
game. But
yeah,
my
yeah,
only
yeah.
problem is that they were gonna make a live action, which is a no. I think it
Mm,
should be animated,
yep,
kind of done like the Lego movie.
yep.
But the story that I think would have fit that movie was already made into another game, which is Minecraft Story Mode.
Yeah,
If
I
they
thought that
adapted
was
that
actually a decent
story,
one. And they put that
yeah,
on
if they
Netflix,
adapted
didn't
that
they?
story, yeah, that's the perfect story.
For a
And
Minecraft movie.
that, yeah,
Yeah.
and yes, I don't know what they were gonna do, but
Yeah,
yeah,
they were gonna I don't know what they were gonna do, genuinely. Do you have
yeah, it
any
was probably
other
gonna be
any other
bad.
games that you hope get developed or not yet?
Um, yeah, nah, not sure.
Oh yeah, yeah. But I've got a couple. I've got 3. One of my favorite franchises in terms of games has to be the Borderlands franchise. That's probably a game,
Probably a
Borderlands 3
movie.
especially. It's actually getting made into a movie, and it just finished filming, so it's coming out, I think.
Probably
Oh, I
next
want to
year.
say next year. Yeah, next year. And it's directed by Eli Roth, who I genuinely love as a director. Like he's a great director. But the cast is just incredible. We've got Kate Blanchett as Lilith, which really works. If you know the Borderlands games and you looked at this cast, you'd actually go, okay, that's really decent casting. It's really good. We got Jamie Lee Curtis as Patricia Tannis, Jack Black as Claptrap, and I could not be happier that Jack Black is playing Claptrap. It just works, and I think he'd be perfect because he's this little robot who's very comedic and he's very up and about with full of energy and he's just hilarious. And I really thought that was good casting. Kevin Hart is Roland. That kind of concerns me. Janina Gavankar, I am so sorry if I messed up your name. She was the main person, Iden Versio in Battlefront 2. And she's going to be in Borderlands. And I'm very excited to see her in that. And also I don't know whether have you seen Bad Mums 2 at all?
Yeah,
The little girl, um,
yeah.
yeah, she's in it and she's Tiny Tina, and I'm very excited. Like there's a
She's
good
been in
moxie and
surprisingly a lot.
yeah, she has. She's doing well for herself.
Yeah.
I'm just looking it up now because I don't want to say there is something being made, But this is my favorite game. My favorite game of all time is Fallout 4. I love that game. And I've heard rumors that there will be a Fallout movie. Um, yeah, that's right. They were originally going to make it based, and there's been a lot of cancelled attempts at making a Fallout movie because it didn't work. And I'm kind of glad that they're not ever going to make it a movie because it feels like it'd be more suited as a TV show, personally, because there's so much in these games that you have to explore that couldn't be done in 2 hours, or even a trilogy that would like be 6 hours. You need at least 2 seasons to make a proper Fallout, you know, adaptation. And I feel like it, even if they did make it, I feel like I'd be disappointed either way, unless it's amazing. It's just because I have such, I love Fallout 4 so much. And if you haven't played that game, it's really cheap. And I'm talking to all my Australian people that are listening right now. If you have a PS4 or Xbox One, get Fallout. It's like $12 at EB Games or something. Just get it. It's one of the best games. You don't need to be online at all. It's not like Fallout 76. It's just completely your own personal game, and it's just heaps of fun. And finally, I don't know whether you've seen these short films that they've made, but Overwatch has a lot of animated shorts that they have made for its characters. So, like, there's one like with Bastion, and there's one with like Soldier 70. I think that was Soldier 76. Oh, I don't know, but they have these animated like 3D animation things, and I was like really excited about that. I was really excited. I was like, come on, that's really cool that you're making all these little short films. But if they did that and portrayed it in a movie with these animation styles that they've been doing just for trailers and for short films, they could really nail a really solid movie. And if you kept the same writers, the same everything, and made a film about the origins of Overwatch, like what is referenced in the opening scene where Winston is like, oh, thank you, people of Overwatch, or whatever he says. There's a whole story behind why the Overwatch team was split up. And I really think that delivering a full animated movie like that would just be, I think I'd just adore it. And I think that, so yeah, Overwatch, Fallout and Borderlands. I'm glad that one of the three are being adapted. But yeah, they're the three I think I'd really enjoy to have. But yeah, I think that's all. I think I might talk about one more thing just really briefly. Since Disney Plus have acquired the rights to Free Guy is now out for free on Disney Plus. Nick, I've seen Free Guy I think twice now. I saw it once when it was in cinemas. I think it was an advanced screening, and the second time I saw it was on Disney Plus a couple of days ago. And my kind of thoughts on it kind of lessened, and I thought it wasn't as good the second time. But what did you think? Because I genuinely have no idea what your thoughts on the movie are just yet.
I saw it. I think it's all right. I
Yeah.
enjoyed. I think it started well. Like I enjoyed it,
Yeah.
but throughout the movie, I kind of kept jumping back from I'm enjoying it to it's boring, and it's because Ryan Reynolds, yeah, he carries it, but all the human stuff and stuff in the real world, I just didn't care about at all.
Yeah, me too.
And the way they wrap up two characters at the end, it didn't feel like that much of stuff. It just felt like something that happened. It's like, oh look, this was the plot twist, so now this is gonna happen, and that's it. And
Yeah, it
so
just felt like everything didn't really have I don't know. What am I trying? I don't know what I'm trying to say, but it didn't have a message. It didn't have really like a proper storyline that really meant anything in terms of just being like, oh no, you're going to be shut down because you're in it. You've just become your own kind of character. And then it's just all about rebooting the game again. And I just thought, oh, really? That's all the film is. I just thought, like, sure, it has some cool little like bits at the end for the final battle. Like, I really enjoyed that. But then the second time I saw it, I was like, oh, this is actually kind of, just meh. But I don't know. I just genuinely wanted to hear what you thought of Free Guy, because that's probably the reason why we're doing video game films for this episode. But apart from that, is there anything else? Have you seen any other video game films that you're interested in or anything, Nick?
no, not really. I not don't
Right.
don't
Yeah.
think there's any.
Alrighty. Well, I think I might wrap this up. This is episode 5, everybody. This is incredible. We're hoping to do episode 6 hopefully soon. We do apologize that we weren't, posting for a little bit. We were so busy with work and school and everything that we're finding it a bit difficult to upload weekly. We will try and keep doing it weekly, but if we can't, please do not sacrifice us. We are trying our very best to get it out. We're back on Spotify, which is fantastic. So this full episode will be on YouTube and Spotify. We got the renewal, which is fantastic. So yeah, we're super glad to be back on the platform. And we just appreciate everybody that's been listening. Thank you to everybody that has been tuning in some way along my Keys Reviews journey over the last 3 years. It's just been an absolutely amazing time. I just want to say thank you for Nick's Film Reviews for joining me one more time. And we can't wait to talk about episode 6, which is about, it's going to be a big spoiler talk of Sex Education season 3. So if you have not seen Sex Education season 3 the whole way through, I suggest you probably don't listen to the episode until you've seen the show, because the show is incredible. But yeah, I just want to say thank you once again to Nick's Film Reviews. It was an honor to have you on here today. And hopefully we're all back next week. Sound good?
With our first guest.
And with our first guest, yeah, that's right. One of my friends, my good friend Carl, he's coming on the podcast for Sex Education season 3 spoiler talk. So I'm very excited about that. So yeah, if you want to support Nick's Film Reviews, you can follow him on Instagram. His YouTube channel is still being worked on, which is phenomenal. You can catch me on YouTube. You can catch us on Spotify. You can do anything you want. But this is Keys Reviews and Nick's Film Reviews signing off for now.